By the way, speaking of tantrums, how are you absorbing this new tariff regime in the world? I would imagine you wouldn't argue the point that the idea of renegotiating certain trade barriers or those types of things wouldn't be a worthy pursuit. I imagine you would take issue with the table overturning tantrum way of doing it. How are you absorbing this general shock?
Look, I grew up in northern Indiana. I live in Michigan. Like, I get what the wrong kind of trade has done to the industrial Midwest, because I grew up surrounded by collapsing factories. And part of that was because of technology. Part of that was because of automation. Part of that was because of trade and the way it was handled. And we spent the last, I think, 30 years coming to a new understanding as a country about what we need to do. And sometimes that means tariffs. Look, the last administration, there were tariffs, but tariffs are supposed to be a tool, a political and economic tool, in order to get some kind of advantage for the people you serve. This is not that, because in order for it to work, first of all, you have to know what you're doing. It was a conservative think tank just found out that there was just a basic math error in how they came up with these numbers.
They divided the deficit and then the goods, and isn't that reciprocal tariffs? Isn't that how it's done?
It's not, it turns out. And that actually matters when trillions of dollars depend on, first of all, what you do, and secondly, how you do it. Is it consistent? Do people understand? I mean, people are making decisions right this minute. Small businesses are deciding whether to go through with an order or not. Businesses of all sizes are deciding whether to make an investment or not, whether to hire somebody or not. I already talk to a lot of people. I spend a day a week at the University of Chicago talking to students. A bunch of them, these seniors are graduating, got job offers. Then they got the job offers withdrawn, right? There was already tons of uncertainty about hiring. That was before the tariffs. And that's true whether you're a college graduate looking to get a job at a bank or something. It's true whether you're, hoping as a construction worker that a project is going to go forward near you. The investment's not just numbers on a page. These are decisions that very quickly go to our everyday lives. So the biggest things I'm watching is, one, of course, how hard is this going to hit us in terms of prices? Right. That's the immediate thing. I mean, a tariff is a tax. The price we pay goes up.
Will it be prices though? Because as you collapse the economy, nobody will purchase anything. So maybe the way this works is, sure, it raises the prices of certain things, but what if we won't buy anything? If consumption goes down so drastically?
That gets you to number two. The other thing I'm really watching is the jobs part, right? Like, what's this going to do to people's jobs? It's hard enough to have those price increases if you continue to have a full employment economy, right? One where more or less it's true that if you want a job, you can get a job. It's a whole other thing to deal with that kind of elevated prices, inflation, at the same time as you're dealing with a recession. And now a recession has gone from being viewed as pretty unlikely a year ago or even 3 months ago to being viewed as better than a coin flip by most of the people who have spent their lives figuring out whether we're likely to go into a recession or not. It is a frightening cocktail, especially for people who are living close to the edge, who are paycheck to paycheck, who weren't sure whether you're going to be able to, right? If you're a billionaire, if you're like most of the people in the president's cabinet right now, or a multimillionaire like most members of the U.S. Congress, then okay, this may not be your problem overnight.
You can ride it out. If you're a billionaire, you can probably ride it out.
You'll probably be okay, right?
Yeah, maybe.
But for so many people, this is not a game. This is not just something that's of interest because you like watching the news. Like, this is people's lives. And obviously, with the stock market taking the turn that it has the last few days, that's people's retirements. And that's not just, people sitting on giant trust funds. That's ordinary people who've been saving up all their lives.